Hello, hello, hello. Apologies for running a little bit late for today's session. Just checking. So, this is our first midweek session because I thought, you know what, let me don't leave it till the weekend for me to speak to my people. So you're welcome again today to the Creative Mastermind. I'll be talking to you about information. Wherever you are watching us from, I want to welcome you to the Creative Mastermind. I'll be talking to you today about information. A lot of people have the desire, the passion, the hope, the aspiration to do something phenomenal, something small, something impactful, something that is meaningful. But a lot of people, however, couldn't do this because of one thing. Because they lack information. What causes most people to be, if I may call it, stuck? Most people to find it difficult to move from one point of their life to the other is the lack of information. Information is critical. It is that thing that separates you from the crowd. It is that thing, that critical thing, that gives you an edge in the marketplace. Information, without which you couldn't do anything that you ever so desire. Fundamentally, a lot of people could not fulfill their heart desires, could not do what they truly want to do in life because they lack information. They have not been told about it. They may have the innate abilities to do something great, something phenomenal, something special, but they haven't got it. They haven't got the sound code. They haven't got the notch. They haven't got the hunch. They haven't felt the butterfly. They haven't got the inspiration. They haven't got because you can only get an initiative if you have access to the information. And as such, their innate abilities could not be put into use. And it reminds me of the parable of the talents in the Bible, where a particular master was going away on a journey, and he gave talent to each of his workers, if I may put it that way. And to some he gave 5, to some he gave 10, to some he gave 2, 3, according to their innate abilities. He knew their abilities. He knew what they've got. He knew what he's given them. And there was this particular one whom, in fact, the master knew that he only had, he has got great abilities. And so he gave him one talent. And this particular one was the only one among the rest who didn't put his talent into use. And as such, when the master came back and he went to the master, "Oh, good and faithful master, I know you are such a shrewd master, and you gave me one talent, and I knew I didn't want to mess about with it, and I thought I should dig a hole in the ground and keep the talent there. And now that you are back from your journey, look, that's the talent you gave me, give it back to you." And the master was angry and very annoyed. And that which was given to him was taken from him and given to one of those that use their talent. It's quite a very interesting story. So if you don't use it, you lose it. You snooze, you lose. Information. The master expected them to use their initiative. The other four how many people in his team got the sound code, got the nudge, got the hunch, got the butterfly feeling, got the instinct to do something about it. But there was one whom decided not to do anything about it. And that which was given to him was taken away. I'm talking about information. Many people are sitting somewhere with great amount of talent, but just waiting for someone to tell them, "Oh, you have to do this. Oh, you know you can do this." Yes, there are times when people, good Samaritans, will come your way and provide you guidance. In some cases, your parents. Some cases, some good friends, some good mentor will tell you what to do, will guide you, show you the ropes and all that stuff. It's great. Fantastic. I love it. But I'm telling you, some of the greatest things that you ever do with your life, nobody will tell you to do them. You learn how to listen to yourself. You learn how to listen to the voice inside you. Some might call it the voice inside you. Scientists call it the ether. Religious scholars from Christianity call it the Holy Spirit. You learn to listen to that subtle voice. You learn to listen to that inquisitiveness in you. There is something in you that is inquisitive. There is something in you that keeps telling you, giving you nuggets of information, ideas in your quiet moments. I remember when I was much younger, to date, to be honest with you, the amount of information that I get in the bathroom when washing, you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked. Some of the most inspirational things I've done with my life, I've got them while in the bathroom. You have to be aware. Increase your awareness. Because there are a lot of information. Some of the most important information in your life, nobody would come and hold your hands and put up a blackboard and start showing you the ropes. The critical things of life, the things that gives you true tactical advantage, the things that gives you true strategic advantage are those humps, nudges, intuitions, voices. Some might call it the Holy Spirit. Some might call it the ether. I don't know which religion you belong to, but there must be something that speaks to your soul, speaks to your gut, speaks to your inner man, speaks to your being. And when you hear those voices, take action. Move. Do something. Do something about it. Take action. Act upon it. Move on. Don't wait. I'm telling you, some of the most important decisions I have made at an individual level are those decisions that I didn't consult or confer with anyone. The moment I received it from the ether, the moment I received it from the nudges, the moment I received it from my intuition, I took action. And on those occasions, I did got it right. Because you see, the moment you start speaking about it, asking, conferring and all that stuff, what is happening is you are reducing and what is it called? You are tampering with the data. You're tampering with the information. You are diluting the strength of that information, because this is what makes you unique. This is what makes you special. If you act upon it as you received it and act on it, I'm telling you, it comes natural. It comes natural and very unique. It separates you from the market. There's this book called The 48 Laws of Power, written by Robert Greene. And Robert said, when he was writing the book, when you write books, you go to the publisher and, they read part of it and all that stuff, and they'll try to guide you and try to interfere with the information and how you write the book, how you relate with the readers and all that. And he was asked not to write the book in the way he did. And Robert insisted that, look, you either take your funding, I'll find ways to publish this, but the book has to be this way. And I tell you what, that was Robert's first book. Most people would have said, you know what, I've never done this before. Oh, they have done it before. Let me listen to them. Let me take guidance from them. They might direct me in the right way. When you start doing that, you're diluting your uniqueness. You're killing your uniqueness. Act on the information. Information is what separates you from your greatest achievement in life. Information is the thing that separates you from your most meaningful achievement in life. Information connects you with your life's task. And so we talk about information. All around us, there's information. You put on your phone, there's information. The telly, there's information. The radio, all around us, all of that, there's information. Planes flying in the air, information. Ships on the sea, information. You walk in the office, it is based on information. As a trader, as a businessman, a petty trader on the street, information. Because you need information to know where you can buy goods for certain price and sell at certain price. You need information to know where your customers are. You need information to know who needs to buy your product. You need information to know how to strategically position yourself in the market. You need information. Why? Why do humans need information so much? What is this thing about information that makes the human being is so connected? It feels like humans are thirsty for information. Why? Why are you so thirsty for information? Why? What makes information so special? It's because you are an embodiment of information. I'm giving so much good stuff. Let me just check my speaker that is working, because it will frustrate me if I realize that my speaker wasn't on. Ah, goodness, it's working. And I please give me a like if you can hear me. I appreciate that so much. That just tells me I'm connecting, It's because you are an embodiment of information. What is an embodiment of information? The makeup of human being, the composition of human being is a crystallized data. the human DNA, which has evolved from generations, is information. The DNA is data. The DNA is what makes you smile like your dad. The DNA is what makes you look like your dad or your mom. The DNA is what makes you behave in a certain way. However, even though the human DNA is data from both parents, the chromosomes, the 23 pairs of chromosomes, you are unique. There will not be any data set like you. Nobody. There will not be you again. Even your children will not be you. Even generations yet unborn will never be you. You are you. You are unique. You are special. You are unique. You are special. Your DNA is uniquely coded in a way that it can never be permutated again. It can never be permutated again mathematically. That code is what makes you unique. So now, you being the embodiment of information in physical sense, crystallized as a human flesh, you need information. You continuously need information to update and connect with source of information, sources of information. So the first source of information is the ether. That is the unique source of information. The second source of information is from your mind, the subconscious mind, because within your subconscious mind, there is a program. There's a program in your subconscious mind that keeps sending thousands of data continuously based on your environment. And it will go into the fights and quickly, oh, remember, 10 years ago, you were in this place at this location and this certain things happen. So this means you're going to be attacked. And that will send something to your amygdala. And your amygdala will think, fight or flight. You fought 10 years ago. You have to fight this time again. And you have to calm yourself down in such situations and understand the environment and say, no, amygdala, I do understand it happens 10 years ago. But yes, this is a whole different situation. You pass that on to the side of the brain that is called the prefrontal cortex, which is the executive function of the brain. And that is where your reasoning, your critical reasoning, that's where it sits. And you look at the situation. And that's why when you're in the office, if your boss misbehaves or says something to you, you don't slap him or her. It's because your prefrontal cortex tells you, no, you don't slap people in this environment. All of us have our street voice. But when we go into the office, we have our work voice. It's a lovely voice, lovely, sweet voice in the office. But when you come home, you have your home voice for the kids. My kids know my home voice. When I give those home voice, my boys know what I mean, you know. And I do this, and I can switch again and be their chef. I can switch again and be the sweet guy, the sweet loving dad, and all that stuff. And so we all have and switch all those things. It's because of the data, how we interpret data at different points in time, because we ourselves are embodiment of data, and we need data to survive. If you disconnect yourself with your source of data, you go extinct. You go extinct. And that is why most people are stuck. And you hear about writer's block. When writers are writing a novel or an article and all that stuff, and they get to a certain point and they're just blocked. They're just blocked completely. Most people, what they'll do is they will leave it for a moment and go do some other stuff. And probably like me, in the bathroom, I'll be washing and the ether. Oh yeah, you were doing this, We had the sound code and we send this information. I'm going deep abstract. I'm not mad. I know what I'm saying. I'm going deep abstract. And so they say, oh, and the ether. Because what happened? At the point when you were writing, you were sending vibration, which is the primary code. Most people talk about attraction. Vibration is the primary code. So as you're thinking about this thing, as you're thinking about this desire, as you're thinking about this hope, as you're thinking about this aspiration, what is happening at that point in time? You are sending sound vibration. You are sending vibration to the ether. You are sending vibration to the source of all data. You are sending vibration to the source of all information. and they will get the sound code. And once that sound code reaches the ether, you now attract it, because your vibration is what attracts the information. And that is why when you are writing, or you're working on a project, or you're trying to solve a business problem, and you get to that point where most people call it the eureka moment. Eureka moment is that moment where, you just get this information, this breakthrough information, like Einstein. Einstein was trying to crack the code of relativity and the theory of relativity, and it was so difficult, so challenging, and he must have encountered a eureka moment. The eureka moment is that aha moment when you're like, oh, so this was what I needed to do. That's your eureka moment. When you figured it out. Yes, you thought it was just something that you figured out. No, while you have been working on it, you have been sending sound codes. Your subconscious mind has been, because you are so focused into it, has been sending sound codes. And that sound code will respond and bring the answer. It might be the same day. It might be another day. It might be some other time. Information is the thing that separates you from point A, from moving from point A to point B. Information is the things that hold the keys to your unique achievement in life. Information is the things that enables you to fulfill your life's task. Listen, you are an embodiment of information. Use information meaningfully. Use information strategically. And so I want to come back from the abstract and let's get into some real-time stuff, okay? And so the fulfillment of your purpose depends on these things. And what I'm saying is, it's not prescriptive. It's not that, oh, this is it, but I figured this out, that they work. And so you can, as you get into this study, try to figure it out. Try to find out for yourself new, additions to this list that I'm providing to you. Quality of information. What is the source of your information? Is the source of your information always by what people say, or what you read in the news, or what you hear people say, or all that stuff? Do you actually deduce information by yourself? Do you, reason information by yourself? Were you working on something and then you get the sound code? Is this a natural source of information, like an intuition? Or is it just when people say, you can do this, and then you went and do it? Quality of information. Timeliness of information is important. Because if you fail to access information in a timely manner, in some situations, you miss the opportunity. However, there are certain information, time works in your favor. So you might not get the information now, because if you got the information, if you had access to that information now, this moment, you would have got it wrong. Probably the market was not ready for you. The time was not right for you. Okay? And imagine the fault between, I think it was Edison and Tesla with regard to AC and DC current, And look, many years later, look at how we're tapping into AC current and so forth, And so that information, at the moment when Tesla got access to that information, initially it wasn't timely, but later on it paid off, because you have people like, what's the name of this great banker? There's this great banker in America who actually sponsored his theory, and now the whole world is using alternative current. And so this is about timeliness of information. How timely is the information? And then thirdly is access to information. And this forms the ethos. This forms the centerpiece of this particular study today. Is the access to information. What information have you got access to? A lot of people have been stuck in life because they haven't got access to the information that will move them from point A to point B. They got stuck. They were working on a project and they got to writer's block and they're stuck. They're trying to market a product. They don't know whom to speak to, where to go, where is the client, whom is the client, who can buy your product, and they're stuck. The product remains on the shelf. Information will enable you to move from point A to point B. It enables you to fulfill your life's task. It enables you to fulfill your innate critical abilities. Information. Because a lot of people have skills, they have abilities, but they're not even aware they have it. They are not even aware they had such skills, such abilities. Such situation. Most people will find themselves in the situation of one of those workers in the parable of the talents, where the talent they had, unfortunately, on their deathbed, they will be asked to surrender those talents. And that which was given to them will be given to the newest baby, the newest bomb. Take, use it. Because energy is never destroyed. It can never be destroyed, nor created. So energy just keeps on moving. You cannot create a new energy. It's the old energy. It's energy. It keeps circulating. It keeps moving. So you take energy, life from one source, boom, you give it to another. Gifts are energy. Pass it on. Don't be too religious with these things. Say the truth shall set you free. Organized information. Organized information. A lot of people cannot organize information. Okay? So they're just scatterbrain. You know those people, they call them scatterbrain. Everything that comes to their mind, it just goes helter-skelter. As it comes in, they don't filter it, they don't hold back, they're just scatterbrain. One moment they're doing this, another moment they're doing that, they're just scatterbrain. And the moment information comes to them, they tell everybody. It's out there. All their friends know what they plan to do. I used to do that. I used to be. But I came to realize that. No. Because I connected the dots. Some of my greatest achievements, some of my greatest breakthrough were those things that I held back and worked on quietly. Because you have to be strategic. Not because of somebody. Not because you want to be the best guy around town and make all your friends look funny or make all other people funny. No, it's about your life task. It's about fulfillment of your purpose. It's you. Yeah? Your mom is not going to answer questions for you. Your dad is not going to answer questions for you. Your brother, your sister, your wife, your husband. Nobody will answer questions for you. You are responsible for your life's purpose. So, after you've done access to information, now you have access to information. Now you can hear data from the ether. Now you're reading the books that you needed to read and meditate upon them. Now you're listening to nudges and intuitions from your deep inner man. What do? You organize these informations. Don't be a scatterbrain. Organize the information. Use them. Organize them. Make it sensible. Because data, that's why it's called data analysis. That's why it's called data management. That's why it's called data analyst. You have data analysts and all that stuff. But there's a data analyzation in the mind as well. So where you have all this data, you know how many thoughts that runs through your mind? If you say you're going to act on every thought, the last time you thought about slapping your wife, did you act on it? The last time you thought about pouring water on your husband's head, did you act on it? Those are data flowing. So you filter the data. You don't use all the data. You don't use all the data. You filter the data. Okay? You filter data. A lot of thoughts cross our minds every day. Crazy thoughts. But we filter the data. That's why you have the executive function of your brain. The prefrontal cortex. That's what it does. The executive function of our brain. The prefrontal cortex. And you organize data. And then now, what use has it got? If you have access to all of this data, all of this information, and you cannot do anything with it. Use information to create strategic advantage. Use information to create strategic advantage. Let information work for you. Manage the information. Deploy information strategically. Use information. You have used information, you've created the product. Now you need to access a market. How do you enter that market? How do you soft speak them? How do you find out their own interest? What do you use to persuade them? This is all information, communication. How you use information. Are you strategic with information? Let information, make information work for you. And I wrote something down. I said, using information strategically is critical to the fulfillment of your goals and aspirations. The quality of information matters, but if you fail to deploy information in the appropriate manner, at the right time, to the right persons, at the right location, you are bound to experience some serious setbacks. You are bound to experience some serious setback. A lot of people could not fulfill their purpose because they are not strategic with information. They have all this information, but they are not taking action. They are not organizing it. They are not making it sensible, and they're just letting it go. Your gift will be taken from you. The reason why I'm doing what I'm doing is I knew I had this kind of gift to speak to people, and the data was flowing. Many people who know me at a personal level will tell you that I can engage with you personally. Okay? And I knew it's there. And then my experiences in life. And then I came to realize that, look, you know what? I cannot go back with this data. I have to touch someone. I have to give this to someone. There's someone somewhere that needs this information. I have to pass this on. And that's why Paul said, I've done everything. I'm empty. I'm not empty yet. I'm still full. But let me start doing it. Let me start doing it. So that when I'm 90, I can say, you know what? I'm empty. I wrote something. I just want to read from my snippet. So use information effectively. First, you must be aware that you are an embodiment of information. And this, put literally, means you feed on information. Humans feed on information. Meaning your success depends on the knowledge of information, your access to information, and most importantly, the information upon which you acted. A lot of people have had great information in their life. Data flows all around them. Their sense of awareness is very low. Their situational awareness is very low. You walk into a room full of people or business partners. You went to a business meeting or you went on a date. Without, you know, a lot of people want people to say something. Listen, the volume of words of information that is passed through non-verbally, it will surprise you. Your level of situational awareness to tap into the mood of the room is critical. It's critical. You went on a date, you cannot read the body language. You cannot read the body language of the people in the house you went to. You cannot read the body language of your business partners. You cannot read the body language of the... You know, some people are like, oh, body language, who cares about... No, listen. People speak volume. You're doing a presentation, a pitch. By the body language and the mood of the room, if I connect to that mood, the ether will provide me information to say, something to say that will connect to somebody that sympathizes with me in that meeting. as deep abstract. The ether will provide me with the right information to say something, and when that thing comes, don't hold back. Just say it. Just say it. If I tell you the amount of stuff that, good things that have happened to me, probably at interviews and so forth and all that, that you just flow with it. Don't interrogate it. As long as it's not like slap the guy in the meeting or slap this interview or so forth. No, just flow with it. You'll see. You'll see. And so, I want you to ask yourself, what information do I need at this moment to actualize my dreams? You've been aspiring to do something. You've been hoping to do something. You have the desire to do something great with your life, but you're blocked. You're stuck. You don't know what to do. Ask yourself, what information do I need at this juncture, at this moment of my life to take me to the next stage? And then you start pondering on that information. What you do there is, as you ponder on that information, you're actually releasing sound codes. You're actually releasing vibration into the ether. Okay? And as you release those vibrations into the ether will pick it up. It will pick the sound code. Many times you've been thinking, why, when I started thinking about this person and the person called me? Tell me. If you resonate with it, just give a like. You were thinking about someone. The person was not, you had no intention to call the person. Neither did you send a text that I needed to speak to you. But then you for a flash of a second, you start thinking about this person. And then not too long and the person called you. It's the ether. It notifies you that there's an energy source coming. We are getting energy signal from somewhere that it's related to you. And the moment you start thinking about that person, the person called you because they have already started thinking about you. So they send the signal through the ether. It's just like a phone call, isn't it? You all held your phone here and you speak. There's no wireless connection and all that stuff. Yes, we know that now there are satellites up there. Look, it's deeper than that. Okay? Back in the days when, was it Edison or Bell? When he made the telephone. And then, we have the cables and all that stuff. But the voice, imagine how the voice travels through that cable and goes to the next point. And when you hold the phone on your ears, that's the ether. Life is science. Whether you believe it or not. What information do I need in this season of my life to fulfill my purpose, to fulfill my life's task? You are one information. As long as you didn't hold back when you got that information, you were one information away from fulfilling your life's purpose. You're one information away from doing that thing that gives you satisfaction. You're one information away from having a great breakthrough. And some breakthrough might just be small breakthroughs. Some might be big, meaningful, but it's impactful. You ask yourself, am I in tune with the right information? Okay? Am I in tune with the right information? What information do I need at this in this present time? So I'm also going to share with you few things, I think 4 actions that modern time, 21st century, key requirements for standing out in the 21st century. Because life is strategic. I know a man that will say, just because you don't eat lion doesn't mean that lions, if you come across a hungry lion, they won't eat you. Okay? Just because you haven't envied someone, and we all envy, okay? Whether we agree or not, we all do. That's a whole different level. I'll teach you about that separately on a different day. It's just a degree of envy that you manifest. Okay? So these things are all there. And so how you manage information. Very few people have the skills to tap into your mood and understand what you feel at this moment. So they're not going to know your mind except you speak. Okay? So 21st century strategies about managing information. Understand how to intelligibly compile information. Understand how to intelligibly compile information. And this, I'm saying, should be subtle. You have to do this in a very, very subtle manner. A manner that, you know, even the people or the source from which you're compiling, as long as it is not with the ether, okay? And the ether, trust me, is even better when you don't speak, but you release the desire. It's stronger, because when you raise your level of vibration, you raise your level of awareness through meditation and imagination, you release more stronger vibration than when you say or speak, okay? So you do these things in a very subtle way. And then the next one is information management. I spoke about it earlier. And that is, who do you talk to about information? Now you've got the information. Now it's time for you to work on the information. But then instead, you choose to start speaking to people about it. Who do you speak to about information? Okay? Who do you speak to, sorry, about your intentions? Now you've got the information. You're meant to act on it. Instead of you moving on, trust the process and act on the information, you start seeking opinions and ideas and all that. As you do that, number one, you procrastinate. Number two, indecision kicks in. And these things are not friends with progress. If you want to achieve meaningfully, if you want to achieve masterfully, you have to be decisive. You cannot procrastinate. If you procrastinate, it has to be as part of the big strategy. Okay? It has to be part of the strategy. If you delay, if you wait, then it's not procrastination again. It's called strategy. The strategy to wait. Okay? There's something in finance we would call option to follow on, wherein some investment opportunities could come your way, and you look at the investment and you say, we're happy with this investment, but we'll follow it up later. Yeah? Options to follow on. And then you have what is called information storage. Guard your heart. The Bible says, guard your heart, for out of it flows what? The issues of life. Okay? So whichever religion you worship in, connect with that religion and think, what did that religion say? The script, whether the Sanskrit or the Quran, whatever they say, or what was the book of the Judaism? Whatever it is, they say, connect with it in terms of storage of information. It's a guard your heart. Okay, the Torah is they guard your heart, for out of it flows the issues of life. So what you did in point 2, you spoke about it, start seeking information and all that stuff from people, telling them your intentions and all that, brings upon you issues of life. Not everyone you tell your stuff will go and say, okay, you draw envy, you draw attention unnecessarily. And this is what the competitive, and this is what businesses do this even better. Because with businesses, you think Apple is going to tell Samsung about the next phone, the next generation phone they're about to create? Or do you think Tesla will tell when the product is still at the design stage? Okay, they haven't really figured it out completely, but they have the concept. Do you think they are going to be explaining the concept design to their competitors? No way, because they are still far away. Because when engineering, when you want to, because I work in construction industry, right? So when you are designing, it goes through several stages. Okay, for you to get approval for construction, it takes several stages. And so you cannot just get a concept design and you think I believe similar principles, there are also guiding principles within electronic and other technical engineering. And so you cannot just have the concept design and you want to talk about it. No, you don't. You got it. You got it. That's your tradecraft. Top law firms don't talk about their business strategy. They keep it. That's for the shareholders and the top executives. Okay? Top accounting firms don't talk about the strategies. Procter & Gamble don't tell other FMCG product manufacturers about their business strategies. You don't see what's the name of these other people? Some other manufacturers. There are many all over the world. Nobody tell each other about their strategy. They keep it very tight. Who do you tell about your stuff? Guard your heart, man. Guard your heart, woman. Guard your heart. For out of it flows the issues of life. And then you have transmission or communication. Look, you have to speak in a concise, clear manner. Concise, clear manner that suits your audience. Concise, clear manner that suits your audience. I remember when I went first year in uni, and there was this assignment given to us. It was a business, I think it was business information or business writing or something. And the assignment was think like a wise man and communicate in the language of the people. Discourse. Think like a wise man and communicate in the language of the people. Discuss. So you have to speak to your audience. So in finance, we are taught, if you go to a board meeting, you call in as a finance manager, you have the finance director, and you're asked to present something to board. The board don't have time for drilling into the details because they have given you 5 minutes to do your presentation. So what happens is you have to present to them at high level. Okay? You present to them at high level. If they want or choose to, they will ask you questions to drill into those high level details. So you have to speak to your audience. Okay? You're going for an interview, prepare for the interview, understand the company, understand the nature of the person. Now you can even go and check the individuals that will be interviewing on YouTube, on LinkedIn and all that stuff, and try to find out about them a little bit. And the first thing you do, you enter. For me, what I do is the first thing I do when I enter the room, I try to connect with the mood of the room. It takes a little while for you to get this, but with practice, you improve on it. I connect with the mood of the room. And I'll come from some interviews and I'll say to myself, I'm not going to work for that dude. No way. And if they come back to me and say, so unfortunately, you were not successful, I say, thank you, Lord. Because I was not going to work for him. We could not connect. You know, you get to a stage where you choose who you work for. You choose your clients. You choose the people you work with. Okay? Because you have to guard your heart. You're not going to work for any toxic person that keeps you moving and running away and all that stuff. You know? So guard your heart. Okay? Because you understand the mood. You connect with the mood. And I'll come back from some places and I say, I want to work for that guy. Not for the company, but for that guy. And this is what in the military, this is what they understand very much. They communicate. Officers can communicate to their men. And you see the men say, I don't mind to take a bullet for that guy. If he tells me to climb that hill, and there's a automatic rifle up that hill, I would chase that hill because he has inspired me. He spoke to me in the language that connects with me. How do you connect to your audience? Learn to connect with your audience. Because all this information that you've gathered, if you cannot deploy it strategically, it's for nothing. Remember, it's information that opens the door to you fulfilling your life's task, your life's purpose. Quickly rounding up, there's so much information here. People who stand apart, I wrote this down. People who stand apart today ensure to at least progressively master how to quickly analyze information. And so I'm going to teach you finally how you analyze information. Okay? And so, first of all, you analyze the information for relevance. Is this information relevant for the purpose? Is this information relevant for this time in my life? Is this information relevant for this season? Is this information relevant for this moment? You cannot use information that was relevant 2 years ago and you start fighting over that information today. You're obsolete. You go into the market only to realize that the markets have moved on. You have to update yourself, connect with the ether, connect with the sound code. Situational, be attuned with your environment. Okay, be situationally aware, situational awareness. Quickly figure out what's going on. All right. 2, reliability. How reliable is this information? What is your source of information? Is your source of information from every newspaper around, or from every reel that comes up on Facebook or YouTube or TikTok? Is that what feeds you? Is that how you get your information? Reliability of information is critical to your success in life. Okay? Reliability of information. Are you dependent on your intuition, your gut feeling, the ether, or or information that you know that, look, the source of this writer, he must have done significant research into what he's written, and then you can do comparative research to prove the theory or postulation that they are making. Okay? And then how accurate is the information? And this links again to what I've just said. How accurate is the information? If you're working on false information, fake information, and you're acting on that premise, you're bound to fail. You're bound to fail. If you interpret the situation inaccurately, you're bound to make the wrong move. You went into the room, you could not read the mood of the room, and you made the wrong move because you interpreted the mood of the room inaccurately. You're bound to fail. You started a new job, you cannot read the mood of the company, the mood of your team, and you started making moves, you're bound to fail. I've got roasted a couple of times. So when I say it, it's tested. Remember, not always the most clever guy is recruited. Sometimes they have their own reasons. Timeliness of information. Timeliness of information. Okay? How timely is your information? And then finally, the trust. Is this information trustworthy? All right? Is this information trustworthy? In short, what encapsulates everything that I have said in terms of analyzing information is veracity. What is the veracity of the information? The information veracity. This essentially means that the information is true reflection of reality and can be trusted as a reliable source of knowledge. And finally, deploy information strategically. Use it to your advantage. Let information work for you. This season, let information work for you now. Let information work for you. As you have listened, spend the last hour listening to me in this video, this live event, I want you to take a moment after this video and start reflecting. Start connecting the dots. Let it not just be you came here, you spent your time and you listened and you went away without taking action. If you want to reach out to me with questions, if you want to reach out to me with message, please feel free, feel happy to do so. I will respond to you. I will come back to you and help you and support you to move in the right direction. I haven't got it right. I'm not super perfect, but I've learned things that I think I can share with you. And I believe together we can build a better future. Thank you very much. Cheers.